whoever sees this, I wish upon you a wonderful day. I'm just out here. It's about 5:05 in the morning. I got my bottles ready for my baby lambs. They're still sleeping. They're slowly waking up. I don't like to startle the animals in the morning. And I like to gently make some noise while I'm out here and let them wake up. The rooster was already making a lot of noise here already. He's always up at around 5 in the morning, especially when the light cycle starts to change a bit. You might hear him. He's actually in the back here. They're all in the back here. They're just hanging out. Here. There's, I don't know if you can see them, but Django's there, and about 5 or 6 of his girls are. I'm getting ready to do my feeding for my lambs. She had 3 triplets there. I got my coffee. And my animals are slowly waking up. I got a outdoor setup for these guys. My sheep are sleeping in that barn over there. And my mama sheep is in there, or their babies. People ask me sometimes, do I sleep? I said, of course, everybody sleeps. But I think I fall under the category of rest. There's a lot that happens at night. It's just, I guess human beings have evolved to work on a time schedule different than our ancestors, really. Our ancestors were guided by light, not dictated by time. Tonight it still is a very clear night. It actually was a very active night sky. It was so clear. I turned up all the lights on the property by the house, pulled out my sleeping bag, and just laid there with the dogs, just looking at the stars. It's peaceful, it's a beautiful peace, sheer quiet. That sound you hear there is the fan, because I'm exhausting out that barn. When it's a little bit more daytime-ish and it's more socially acceptable to turn on the tractor, I'll finish mucking out the barn with the tractor. I just don't want to disturb my neighbors with a loud tractor. It would be disrespectful. And there's no need to make that type of noise at night. Disturb other people's sleep. Sleep is a very important thing. A common torture tactic is sleep deprivation. It's commonly used by militaries and even other agencies. People don't get enough sleep in life. Like, think about it. Let's say you have a job, even a career. You wake up, let's say, 7 o'clock. Gotta be be at work at 8 o'clock. Some people even wake up earlier, right? They wake up at like 5 because they got maybe like an hour commute, hour and a half. Maybe even 2, just to get there. You gotta clock in. Good morning, buddy. You gotta clock in do an 8 o'clock, like an 8-hour shift, right? So let's say you do your 8 hours. Some people even do 14 hours, depending on the job. Nurses, I think, do like 12. Right? Good morning, guys. Bye-bye. Bah. Hi, Ram Ram. Good morning. Hi, Molly. Hi, Tigger. Ram Ram. Even you get to know your animals. Oh, Ram Ram. How you doing? Hi. Yeah, when you get to know your animals, it's actually really unique kind of experience because, you know, Ram Ram has that like deep voice, right? And then Ram Ram. You know, it reminds me of, you know, Bart Simpson, Homer used to. That sounds exactly like that. Those were the babies. They were born last September. Who knows? Homer wasn't the burper, was he? Who was the burper in Simpsons? Regardless, so you do a 9-hour to a 14-hour shift, and then when you're done, you gotta drive home. Let's say another hour. Then you get home, and let's say you got kids. You gotta pick them up, drop them off. And let's say you have a wife, or you know, if you're a woman, you have a husband, and they expect so much out of you, you know. Like they just, in a way, kids and spouses are like oblivious sometimes to the shit that one has to put up with just to come home to do more stuff, and we're expected as a society to go to work, do their job, and then still have sufficient time to go to the grocery store, book an appointment, go to the doctor, do all these things, right? You work. Who are you really working for? Most of your money gets taken by the government. Like, think of the numbers here, okay? The Arrive scam alone. Think of how much good that money could have done for Canada in general. Then you look at the $3 billion to Ukraine. Think of how much good that could have done for Canada. But there's no money for faster lines at the hospital. There's no more after-school programs. There's no money to help food banks out. But we have, not we, the Liberal government has billions of dollars to give news agencies that push his agenda. And every year, these politicians get a pay increase. Not like 50 cents. Not $1. They get thousands of dollars every year as a pay increase. What have they done for Canada? What is Canada anymore? And I say this seriously now. I remember when I was in Israel, and I woke up one morning and my dad wasn't there. And I was too young to understand where this man went. And I thought he went to the army. I thought he went to the base. Because that was like a normal thing. You know, every couple weeks, he would go to the base. And he would do his training. What he did there, I didn't really understand. I was a little kid. But I knew my daddy was home. When I'd wake up in the morning, and his boots, his boots, his boots were by the door. And then one morning, my dad woke up and he said, "Hey, I'll be back." I'm like, "Where are you going?" He said, "Canada." Keep in mind, I'm 3 years old. Fuck is Canada? He said, "It's cold there." He goes, "There's snow there." I'm like, "Snow?" I thought popsicles. I didn't understand where he went. All I do know is that one day I woke up and his boots were by the door, and I thought my dad was home. And I looked in his room and he wasn't there. From the time he was gone to the day my uncles took me to the airport, in that time span felt like forever. My uncle Amos, Victor, and Eyal. I have other uncles. My auntie Irit and Gula. My other uncle Moshe. They're all in Israel. My uncle Eyal once took me to the lion safari in Israel. It's a crazy story, true story. It's expensive to go to the lion safari in Israel. And, fuck, Eyal, you're crazy, man. It was me and my sister, and my uncle was in his car. And the lions were literally like sleeping. They were sleeping. And my uncle said, "What is this? What is this?" In the Hebrew. "I paid all this money, and these sons of bitches are just gonna, these sons of bitches are just gonna lay here and sleep." So he starts honking the horn. He starts honking the horn. And this motherfucker opens the door. Opens the door and gets out. And starts yelling at the lions. And my sister is freaking the fuck up. Like, if you've ever heard, like, fuck, I'm telling you. And then one of the lions gets up, and you would think that my uncle Eyal would get back in the car. No, he starts taunting this fucking lion. And when another one got up, he ran in the car. And he goes, "You see? Now we got our money's worth." And then we were driving, and the park ranger, he goes to my uncle and goes, "Hey, are you the guy that is taunting the lions?" And my uncle's like, "No, that's the guy behind us." Yo, that guy got jacked up like a motherfucker. And my uncle's like, "Do you think I would do that with my nephews here? And my niece here? You think I'm that irresponsible?" My uncle Victor is an artist. Very, very gifted man. Very gifted man. And, that's about right. He's a unique artist, like just, he does a charcoal. And the unique thing about that is he doesn't even need to see a picture. He can draw anything. My Uncle Amos. Wow, my Uncle Amos. The one thing that really kept our family together, I felt, was my grandmother. Santa Tony. I remember we used to go to her house, and all her kids would come there and join us there. And when I lived in Haifa, so it's the northern part of Israel, and my mom would take us to my grandmom's, her mom's, and she would feed the chickens with me, teach me so much about nature. She was born in Libya, Tripoli, where she met where my grandfather was born. And they had to leave Tripoli, Libya, when all the Jews were forced out. Now those lands when my father was born in Iraq, and his father was born in Iraq, Baghdad, and my father's mother was born in Iran. I think it was Tehran she was born in. But back then, Jews and Muslims lived in peace. In Iran, the women had rights, they were educated. Do you know that in all of the Middle Eastern countries, Iran used to be the highest level of scholarship that they were. Like, you speak to an Iranian man who's in his 70s and 60s, oh wow, the educational wisdom that these people have. Scholars. And women could wear bikinis and they could show their face. And what happened? Well, the caliphate. And you can go back in time in history and understand that at one point there was peace in the lands. And yeah, Jews lived in Arab countries, but not for free. They had to pay a tax. My grandfather in Tripoli used to have a cart, okay? And he had a mule. And he would trade goods with different villages. And when he came to Israel, because he was forced out of his homeland, of his birthplace, under the threat of death, by what we would call the jihad, the ISIS, the Antifada, the PLO, the Hamas mindset. They left with nothing. You're my relatives, my ancestors. You don't hear my uncles. My father said, hey, give us back our land in Iraq. Give us back our land in Libya. Just understand that my father's father was, in those times, a millionaire. He owned businesses here. He had land. He had oil, not refineries, but oil rigs. That's how much money my father's father had. They had private teachers. They had a driver. My father's father had a driver in Baghdad. And just like that, he had a suitcase, his wife, and 5 of his kids. Just like that. And not once did you hear my father's father ever say, I want my land back. Because he knew it was never going to happen. My uncles were in the first Lebanon War, and my grandfather was in the war of independence. And he fought battles back even before he came to Israel. But in Israel, yeah, there were Jews and Muslims. And we can go on and on. But ultimately, how could there be peace if there is no war? And you'll only understand what peace is once you understand what war is. Molly, good morning. Hello, guys. Oh, Mr. Joe. I'm busy here. So I'm cleaning out the barn. And, cleaning out the barn. And, it's fermenting here. That's why I have the exhaust fan here, taking out as much of this out as possible. That's a heavy-duty 8-inch fan. And my flock of sheep, or herd sheep, is on that side there. And I'm going to open this up right now. Close this a bit. Oh. My guard dog, security dog, running about good. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Yes, you are. Hi. You know what I got for you? I got some yum-yums for you. Oh, let me get you. I got you grain as well. Just give me a sec here. Let me get organized here, my love. How are you guys doing today? You guys looking fully. You guys had a big lunchy breakfast. I'm going to just close this for a sec so I don't give them a draft. I got a 50 watt heater in there actually. I use that over the winter to control the cold temps here. You know, in British Columbia, I'm sure we all know if you experienced it. It was, you know, we had temperatures, I think, like minus 37 sometimes there. And definitely chilly willy, right? And in here where I had a 1500 watt heater, it was warm, toasty. That's why it's all tarped up there. Where's my... you guys move my little bowl that I have? Oh, here we go. That's what we're looking for. You guys hungry? You guys want to eat some breakfast? Well, how about we eat here where it's not so Not so gassy. All right. Oh, not so good. Over here, guys. Good morning there, little fuzzy. Hello. Chickens. Chickens. My pheasants. My pheasants are up there. They're an amazing alarm system, by the way. You guys have found here. See, they're looking for grubs and little insects. You know what? You guys want to be in here? That's fine. I gotta clean up the barn anyway. Now, get some rabbit pellets for my little fuzz. There you go. You, where'd you go? Oh, she's over there. Oh, he's over there. All my females are locked up. That way there's no uncontrolled breeding, right? You don't want to be doing that. And the males don't do well, you know. At all, actually. You could do it, but my fence is here. They go down all the way around. In some areas 3 feet, in some areas 2 feet. And on this side, they're pretty high up here. The areas where they're busted is where bears have climbed over. It's a lot of weight on a fence to have a bear climb over, but the security systems that I have there are bells that are attached, and when if the fence falls, it rings the bell. And I had strings, heavy gauge fishing line, so if that fell, the line would go across the rafters, and it would pull down a pot full of stones in it, and that's the way I would know if something breached my area, where every section has a different, either a big 5-gallon empty water bottle container that makes a noise, and then you would know where your breach is happening, right? Because knowing where a potential predator is coming through is very important, as well. Knowing where nature. Knowing where a potential breach is coming is crucial. You know, let's say there's a power outage. Be very careful when you set one of those up. An animal or a person, right? Because if you have anything, hi little guy, yes, hi, you know, you definitely know why I'm here, because I definitely helped you out there. She was the tiniest one. I'll show you how tiny she is. Oh, no. She's the tiniest one, and she was an itty bitty little mini, and she's got 2 sisters. There you go. She's got 2 sisters, and her mom was having trouble here, so you don't get a little chilly willy. I know, you're a little squirmy squirm today. Yeah, I got a lot more energy this morning. They are literally just a day old. Just a day old. And she did well at first. She was nursing. She's definitely way smaller than her sisters, and she was having a difficult time. The reason being, her mom was having difficulty. I gotta kneel down. Here, you're feisty. You're feisty, smart. You're feisty. Oh, you're feisty. You're feisty. You're feisty. Hey. 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 You too? Okay. Well, you're a professional. You're a professional. Is that the big paper? Yeah. You're a professional. Yes, you are. Oh, that's a little. And this is fresh dairy milk from a mom cow, of course, that just had a baby. So there's that enzyme. I forget what it's called right now. It's like 5:30 in the morning. Everyone slept much. But I've been coming in here every couple hours and giving enough feeding. Especially her. She was very weak, very tired, and she was a little chilled. And when I tried putting her in here before, and my mom wasn't having it, wasn't fucking having it. She was really upset. But I'm pretty sure that was just because she just had her babies, and she, of course. She just had her babies, and she was not really, settled in yet, right? You're like an eager beaver there. That's good. You need a little bit more coaching. You're still sleepy? You're still sleepy? Right, look at you. You're spicy feist. You're spicy feist. Oh, you're working up now. You want some of this? You want some of this? There we go. He just needed some practice. Yes. Very good. When I was in my early teens, the same year Maddie Baranowski was murdered. My friend. He was stoned to death over some cigarettes. I wasn't there. I was living in this place out in the country in Ontario. I'll admit it, I was a very angry kid. For good reason. I met a man there, his name was Duncan McKinley. And another man named Reg. They taught me a lot about life, about the cycle of life. I'm gonna be here for a while, eh, guys? Might as well get comfortable. And taught me about what you put in and what you get. And I remember at one time, it's warm here, huh? I remember one time I was bitching about paying, and they had huge bills. I don't get that something. But you're a magic too. You are yourself. Now, you might be wondering why I'm not feeding the other one. The two, but she's very robust. Actually, she's positivity. Oh, congrats. So those two are nursing on their own. That's what usually happens, these two. They nurse on their own, huh? And then this one's was weaker, so she had no ability to nurse. And I know she wants it right now, but you gotta, portion out the threshold, right? In the natural doing of things, they don't drink a whole bottle worth of milk in a sitting. A sheep will always move around a bit and interrupt the feeding, so you don't want to blow out their stomach, right? By giving them too much milk too soon, or too quick anyway. You want to try again? Well, a trick that you can do as well is you take the nipple. You see she doesn't really want it? Right. Watch what I've learned. Oh, you good pee-pee, good girl. Watch what I've learned. So you take your bottle, okay, and you just kind of get the scent of her mom's milk, because it's a different smell, right? Just like that. Okay, now same bottle. We're going to go to the sheep, the lamb that... Oh, are you drinking on your own? Look at you, look at you. Are you going to do it all by yourself? Are you going to do it all by yourself? So that's the lamb that didn't want, right? Let's see if you can do it. You know, I got this one. Hello, little hippity hop. Are you learning how to bounce? Learning how to bounce like a tiger. head to maybe 1,000, depending on the region you're in. But ultimately, whoa, you really learn the animal, right? You really learn the environment that they're in. It's a harsh climate, right? One thing Israel does have that everything a lot of countries don't have is the sense of unity and belonging. You know, I'm not saying it's perfect, right? But you see people that have never been to the country, and they try to westernized the Middle Eastern mindset. And when you try to westernize a country where, or not even just a country, but a people, right? A people that are very unique to that demographic, right? Oh, look, your sister's drinking all on her own. That's wonderful. That's fantastic. You just warming up the bottles here. And on October 7th, I lost over 1,000 cousins. And you'd be like, oh, they're not related to you. You know, you're wrong. All Israelis, all Jews, we're all cousins from the same tribe. Even though our tribes are divided by different levels of culture. Like I'm Sephardic. That means Arabian, African lands. Then you have the Ashkenaz, which are European Jews. And you have the Moroccan Jews, who are from Morocco, those territories. But at the same thing, even though we're from different ethnic diversity of lands, we share the same common law of Judaism. And that may mean something to you, it may not. But to me, it means everything. It means everything. As a kid, come here. I don't want you in the corner. I want you over here. I remember growing up as a kid, we were always told to not go by the borderline. The same daycare that I went to before I was born, a bunch of Lebanese terrorists broke through the border and massacred about 30 children and kidnapped a bunch of kids, like babies, like infants, and murdered them in cold blood. And then growing up as a kid, you would hear about suicide bombings a lot. In the 80s, it was rampant, where someone would strap a bomb to them and walk into a bus station or get on a bus or a shopping mall or a cafe or a diner and just blow themselves up. And the thing that pisses me off the most is when people talk to me about October 7th, when they didn't even know what Israel was or what a Palestinian is, and I responded like, oh, So you started watching this season? Because it's been going on for thousands of years. And they're like, thousands of years? What are you talking about? I'm like, exactly. See, now they're nursing on their own. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Yeah, look at you. Look at you getting a belly full. Wonderful. And that's the thing, her mama only has 2 nipples. Like I know some girls that got 3 nipples. I mean, but they're definitely not cheap. So this won't need to be done all the time, but just for the first week or so, just to make sure that she gets all her nutrients that she needs, right? Is that yum yums? Was that yummy? Doesn't she look a little dopey, right? She look a little dopey, right? I mean, everyone has a family member that's a little dopey. She's a tiny one. She's a petitski. She's Dopey the bear. And she's over there. She's going to be like a future rugby player, I think. She's a big girl. But at the conclusion of everything that I'm saying, a man's softness shouldn't be an impression on his weakness, right? You know, the misunderstanding of Middle Easterns in general, right? Misunderstand. Are you done? You're full? Is that good? You want a burp? A little burp? Look how big she is now. Look at her big belly. You little belly. You got a little belly. Yeah, you like that. Yeah, you're a good girl, you know that. You're gonna go nap now, right? How about you come nap here? Where it's nice and warm. Build you like a nice little nesty nest that I did before. Right? Nice you can curl up and this. Right? Yeah. Ooh, look at that. This is for you. A nice little nest. I get your sisters in there. All right. Hi. Look how much bigger she is. Right? Look how much bigger she is since to her. Yeah. You're a huge lamb. You're a little baby lamb. You know, animals have a way with people, with the right people. I mean, you could tell a lot about someone's soul by the way they treat animals. But the way one person treats animals may not represent the way they treat people. And you'd be like, well, how could that be? Well, simply, how many people have fucked you over in life? General question, right? And how many animals have done the same? And I guess to say that, you know, as kids, growing up, when I was a kid. Oh, you want to go back to your spot there? All right. Oh, you're going to lay down there too? Okay. Here you go. We'll bring all this nice, yummy, dry hay, and we'll bring it to you guys, all right? We'll bring it to you guys. Just like that. Yeah. Can I put some behind you there? So the wall's not so cold here. I don't want the wall to get cold and then get chilly, okay? If you would have seen how weak she was around 12 hours into life. She was laying down crying. I didn't get up. And I could tell by the way she was crying. She needed help. And so I called the very few individuals that I can call an uncle that isn't related to me. And I said, hey, I need some cow milk. He's like, I'll be right over. Not, hey, I'm busy. Hey, it's a bad time. And this is a man that I don't talk to every day. You want to get in here? You want to get in on this? There's plenty of room for you. Plenty of room for you there. I don't talk to him every day. But when he needs me, he calls and I'm there. I don't ask him why he needs me there. I'm just there. I have no time for 3 p.m. friends. I only make time for 3 a.m. friends. You guys are full. That's good. I'm going to close this door. Allow you guys retain the heat. Mama, if you need me, call me. All right. A little green bucket. What are you getting, hoppity? Yeah. All right. Now, get some rest. And, wake back up again when the, light comes out. Oh. There's more light out. It's more sound appropriate to turn on the tractor. Right? Trying to be a good neighbor. Last thing you want to be. I mean, technically I could turn the tractor on at any time because of the zoning of the land, but it doesn't matter. No need to make unnecessary noise. I got good neighbors. Yeah, look at you. Look how cute that is. You little nester. Are you a nester? Oh, yeah. Ooh. So I sealed it very tightly, but there is air exchange. There's a gap right there to let up, but the majority of the heat is right here. And then, on top of that, because obviously there's a gap at the bottom of the door, a lot of it's covered. But all this is coming out today. That's the big jump today. I modified my tractor here. Modified my tractor and cut the bar down so I could fit it through this door here. Yes, I did. And I have a welder buddy who's gonna weld it back on. I'll let the other sheet poke when there's more light. And then go up the prowl right now. At this time, I think it must be around like 6:20 a.m. I think. Yeah, something like that. It's kind of early for the other sheep. Usually they'd be hollering, but if I didn't have lambs, I wouldn't be up. I'd be up, but I wouldn't be out here in the barn. Where's he barking at? There's probably a chicken there or something, or a rabbit. That's a playful bark. I know his bark very well. Hey, bud. What do you see there? A little chicken? Is it a rabbit? No, it can't be a rabbit. Rabbits are in the barn. Shh. Shh. Hey, shh. Hey, it's morning. Shh. I'm going to take you in the yard in 2 seconds. I just wanted to come say hi. Because I know if I don't say hi, I know. Shh. You're super excited. You're going to go in the yard right now. Hey, I know. Hey, I know. But if I didn't come say hi, and I walked by you, you'd be like an angry girlfriend, and you would lose your shit. So I just wanted to say hi. Okay, I know. Hey, come here. Hey, Platz. Good boy. Go play. Come here. Platz. Good boy. Malak. Is a good girl? Yeah, good girl. Shh. Go play. Okay. Shh. Come here. Platz. Malak. Good. Shh. I'm going to go around and I'm going to bring you outside, okay, in the yard. But you can't be barking, okay? I love you guys. Shh. Platz. Good boy. Good girl. Shh. Go play. We got neighbors. Give me like 30 seconds and I'll bring you out front, okay? And you might be wondering if they get cold or not. Well, right there I have a Platz. Good boy. Right there I have an exhaust fan, 6 inch, sorry, and it goes up to 10 speeds and it's thermostat controlled. And if it gets chilly in the doghouse, the fan turns on and then brings in the warm air that's hooked up to the furnace because the heater's on, of course, and it pumps in the warm air right into the doghouse. And in the summertime, it's also thermostat controlled. If it gets too hot in the doghouse, then it turns on the exhaust fan, which is in the same room as the air conditioner. So it could be like 36 degrees outside, and it's like 18 degrees in the doghouse, which is really nice. And they love it. They fucking love it. And then I have a misting system in the yard. And, a smoker running just for the shenanigans for the dogs. They love it. Hey, Major. Major's a dog that I rescued. Well, actually, I adopted him. He was rescued prior. He's a Tavern Malinois. And, man, he was a lot of dog when I got him. And you might be wondering where he is right now, and Oscar. They're actually in their bedroom right now. They share a room, like literally like a full-blown bedroom. There's a dog crate in the room, but they don't always always go in there. When I leave the house for an extended period of time, then I'll put them in the dog kennel with the puppy, because he's only 5 months old now. But right now, he's just loving it and living it. This guy's eating his breakfast. What I love about this time is the sunsets here. Sunsets here are beautiful. Sun comes right up between that valley there and shines out bright. And it's fucking gorgeous. We have elk in this field. We got plenty of coyotes as well. And definitely I've seen them twice. In 6 years I've seen them. Mountain lions, cougars. And I don't mean the ones in the bar. I mean the ones that are like real cougars. My First Nations people live to the east of me. And they are a wonderful, very spiritually guided people. When I moved here, this house was for sale for a long time. Like, I think it was on the market for like 120 days. That's a long time for a home. And the price was fantastic. I remember the real estate agent, not my real estate agent, but the real estate agent that was showing us the place. He goes, yeah, a lot of people have come to look at the house. And, man, this house is beautiful. 4-bedroom, 5 acres. Beautiful view. He said something that really pissed me off. And he said something along the line of, because I was asking, what's over here, what's over there? And I noticed that he avoided that section to talk about. And I said, what's over there? Looks like a village. It's like a community in the middle of nowhere. And I won't lie, I was a little naive. I mean, I know what First Nations are. I know that they were here before this place, where this land was discovered. Like, you see those commercials in the 80s. Some fucking idiot in a canoe going, look what I discovered. No. They call it Canada, like those commercials, right? And discovered Baaaaa. Came down to the fact that 90% of the people that came out here, 95% of the people that came out here to look for this property, to look at this property, were not of, they were white, flat out, nothing wrong with it, but they were white, very white. And when I moved here, people asked me, especially people that don't know anything about anything, don't understand culture, and don't understand what being ethnically different is. Like, oh, them people must give you a hard time. And I'm like, which people? You mean white people? Yeah. And they're like, no, the natives, they must give you a hard time. I go, no, I'm very good to me. Anytime I ever needed help, I found more enrichment. from the First Nations than I've ever felt from any other culture other than my own people. And it's just, they're so beautiful internally and externally too. And again, I was naive. I mean, you hear these stories, and I knew about the genocide. I know how Canada was created. I understand how this land was stolen from them, and how they were raped and tortured and burned and molested and abused for centuries. And I think the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my fucking life was someone who wasn't from this land like me. But his parents were born here. And they said, man, they should just get over it. Get over it, eh? But again, that person who said that, and those people that think like that, have never experienced trauma. And I can relate to trauma because my entire ancestry is from war. Show me a generation in my bloodline that wasn't subjected to war. Even me, subjected to war. Listen to the birds. I'm out here every morning, and they just started singing a couple days ago. Some of the greatest teachings I've ever absorbed were from my tribal elders. Some of the greatest wisdoms that I've learned since living here on this property were from elders from a different tribe. Because I'm definitely not white. I'm Middle Eastern. But I can understand the mannerisms. I respect the mannerisms. I get it. I see it every day. How people look at me because I don't maybe match the skin tone, or my hair looks different than their hair. How other people who technically are immigrants to this country, yeah, so they were born here, but your parents were either born here or their parents' parents were the ones that came on a ship and murdered the First Nations and looted their land, confined them to genocide. I have a lot of understanding to that. And then you say, well, Tomer, your country, Israel, is killing kids and blowing up hospitals. And I'll say straight up, my country, Israel, doesn't kill kids. And the hospitals that are getting blown up are being used specifically by certain members of the Hamas regime who utilizes civilian casualties as an achievement. I'll give you an example, okay? If an individual, regardless of race or color or ethnicity, is in a building, shooting out of that building, well, that entire building becomes a target. Okay? If that individual who decides to use that building as a target knows that there are civilians in there, knows that there are children there, that he is actively engaging in a hostile fashion at people, we'll say soldiers, and the soldiers engage the building, and we'll say unarmed combatants or unarmed civilians get decimated. The Western world goes, oh, you killed civilians. Your people are murderers. I'll put it into you in perspective, okay? Like, I got dogs. I got dogs. Major is a good boy. Is it pretty? Good, a big boy. Go play, go. Where's the ball? No barking. No barking. It's too early for barking. Bloods. Good boy. Go play. Where's your tire? No, that's your ball. Get your tire. That's your ball. Out. Come here, Foos. Out. Hey, come here. Ata. Out. Come here. Ba. Right side. Right side. Over here. Come here. Hey. Bloods. Good boy. Go play. Go. Give me an example, right? Just theoretically speaking. Let's say people come to your home. Doesn't matter who you are. And they want to talk to you. Sure. And if they're supposed to be there or not supposed to be there, irrelevant, okay? But try to put it in this perspective. People come to your home, and you know you have dogs. And you know your dogs might react suspiciously, and not necessarily even aggressive, right? But they'll run up to the person. How is that person supposed to know that the dog is just running up to them to say hi? They don't. Right. So is that person supposed to assume that the dog that's running at them is just going to stop and wag its tail? No. It falls on the responsibility of the person who has the dog to control their dog. I know, personally, that if law enforcement comes to my property, first thing I fucking do is put my dogs away. Or I make sure that there is a secure fencing that they cannot fucking get through. Period. The dogs shouldn't be able to run at someone knowing that they are law enforcement. Under no fucking circumstance would I ever, in my right fucking mind, even in my blacked out state of mind, that is very rare, would ever think it would be okay to allow a dog to charge at a police officer. I wouldn't even be upset at the officer's action to neutralize the potential threat. I would be upset at myself for allowing something that I love make an irresponsible decision. And I'm a professional dog trainer. And I've had a lot of encounters with law enforcement. And not one encounter have I ever resisted arrest, been aggressive during an arrest, or even in my worst day think that it would be okay to allow a dog that is, let's say 20 pounds, 50 pounds, 130 pounds, run towards anyone, period. Unless they were kicking in my door or that isn't law enforcement, okay? If I know for sure that this is a criminal and this motherfucker is coming to hurt me, then it's a different engagement rule, right? But that still has to fall underneath a very specific rule of guidelines. So for all these people that get upset when they see a law enforcement officer neutralize a dog, put yourself in the officer's perspective, right? Put yourself in that person's position. Are they supposed to take the chance to get fucked up by a dog? Fuck no. Period. It's unacceptable. Just like it would be unacceptable for an Israeli soldier not to engage a building or a person. It falls underneath the responsibility of the person that initiated the engagement. And even if someone initiates engagement, okay, that doesn't give you the excuse to unleash hell. But then you'll be like, you just contradicted yourself. No, but here, let me explain. I have a lot of packages that come get delivered to my property, right? Amazon's here like 3-4 times every 2 weeks, right? There are barriers there to prevent the animals from engaging them. I would feel terrible if one of my animals somehow got through my 3 different gates to get to my driveway. Of course, I would feel devastated because I'd feel like I let the animal down and I let the person down. But if the person ripped down my gate and cut my lock and busted down my padlock and came through 2 or 3 barriers, well, then I know their intent is different, right? That isn't lawful. White swans, beautiful. Or maybe those are Canadian geese or Russian geese, but they changed their status, so they're Canadian now. Ultimately, man, everyone wants to live. Everyone wants to live in peace. But this world has changed from what I remember it as. I remember when I came to Canada and I saw my dad after years of not seeing him, which felt like forever. He used to read us books and record his voice. Because he used to read me stories every night. And he didn't want that to change. He didn't want me to forget his voice. So he would read stories. And we would listen to those tapes. And back then, mail wasn't like what it is today. He would mail like 3 cassettes. Like we're talking like the old school tape cassettes, eh? Both sides, my dad would record like a book. And my dad loves to read. He's a reader, man. Buck, this guy's a reader. He's got his master's in engineering and worked in intelligence in the military and calculated bomb size and fuel ratios and but the power of voice, the power of language.
Şeket! Hey! Baaaaa!
Power of voice, the power of language, and ultimately the power of touch. It's just a remarkable thing. But this country's been divided in the last 8 years in a way that I don't think it'll ever be the same. Do you understand what they did to us as an entirety of it? Not just Canada, but the world. If you don't take the shot, you're diseased. You can't visit your family on the holidays. Tell on your neighbor for having friends over. The trucker convoy are racist, terrorist Nazis. What the fuck? And our prime minister brings in a German. Do you understand what the fuck happened there? In the House of Parliament, Justin, the scam artist terrorist Trudeau, brings in a Nazi from the SS into Canadian Parliament. When I saw that, I figured it out before everybody else did. I'm like, I figured it out when they're like, he fought against the Russians. Who did the Russians fight against? Nazis. Hitler. Just remember, April Fools, we're all a bunch of fools. Because that carbon tax, it's going way up. I think like 26%. Well, our prime minister travels in private jets. The Wicked Witch of the fucking North is flying in helicopters, telling us about our carbon footprint. Huh? Our carbon footprint. He's more worried about charging us more tax than he is about figuring out what the fuck happened with his Arrive scam. How money just disappears. He gets investigated. He has the power to be like, hey, nothing to see here, Mr. RCMP. Yeah, you don't have the authority to look into my criminal activity. But a waitress who sends $20 to the trucker convoy loses her entire financial ability to live. She's a terrorist. Oh, interesting. Don't forget what these people did to us. Don't forgive what they've done to Canada. They're coming up for a re-election. You ask yourself, have the last 8 years been better for you or worse for you? See, some people say Canada's cold. I said, nah, it's nowhere near as cold as the bitterness of the people running this country. It's a weird world we live in. But it's, at the same time, it's a beautiful place. It's a wonderful place. You just gotta really, absorb and appreciate. Fundamentally, life is a beautiful thing. Am I happy? Absolutely am I happy. Do I have moments where I ask myself, fuck, I should have done better. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. But I do it again. Sure. But animals have always provided me a sense of direction. Animals have taken me out of war. Humans have put me in the position of war. I think the most disturbing thing is how they block out what's really going on around the world. Russia is getting bombed, Ukraine is getting bombed, Israel is on fire, Egypt is losing its mind, Gaza is getting wiped out, Hamas is getting wiped out. And everyone's just listening to the narrative, but not understanding the story behind the narrative. Submarine goes down, breaking news for like a week. More like almost 1,000 migrants drowned. Biden floods the border, and now he's saying, look what I'm doing to fix it. Look what I'm doing. I'm fixing the problem that I caused. Our gas prices are through the roof. But I'm a good prime minister. I lowered it 10 cents. Motherfucker, you literally raised it $1. I remember when I was a kid, gas was 35 cents, man. Put it into perspective. 2020. I remember I bought a Gixxer Suzuki 750, and that motherfucker was a rocket ship. For $20, I could fill that bad boy up, and I could go from my house in Armstrong to West Side to the Valley Motorsports and home for $20. I'd have to fill up in Armstrong, but yeah. And before I crashed, $20 didn't even get me from the gas station. You got me to the gas station in Armstrong, to Kelowna, like Valley Moto, and I'd have to fill up before the airport. What the fuck? But don't worry, Trudeau's gonna get an increase in his pay. Where millions more Canadians have visited the food bank and are being turned away. But we got money for Ukraine because we support Ukraine. We support Ukraine. Do you understand the ideology behind this? Justin Trudeau told Zelensky, hey, we'll give you the money, but you have to have LGBTQ members, and is also you need to be more diversified in your landmine removal teams. Otherwise, you're not getting the money, because we support LGBTQ. You know what? I support them too. I love lesbians, and I appreciate gay men simply because they dress better than me, and they have usually better dietary habits than me, and even though they may be facially good looking, they're not interested in the same women that I'm interested in, which is a plus for a guy like me. But could you imagine if all these gay men weren't gay, how much harder it would be to pick up a woman, considering that I'm a little scruffy and I got like sheepy hair, and I might smell like a man more than other men. Then it'd be a hard world. But all of a sudden, we have men going to the bathroom in women's bathrooms, and men dressing up as women entering places that women enter. And we have men pretending to be women playing sports. I think the craziest thing that I saw was a man who was born a biological male who plays on a women's rugby team. I watched it because it was just fucking entertaining. This motherfucker either really is, what he says he is, or he really hates women. And he just wants to fuck them up. This motherfucker would run in, and the women are like, scrimmaging and trying to push. And this rhino of a motherfucker would come and boom! And literally, all you see is like hair flying. And he's like, come on, girls, you can do it. The fuck out of here, man. Come on, girls, you can do it. I knew this world was fucked when they stopped serving salted peanuts on airplanes. They took that away from us. That's how it all started. Oh, I'm sorry, that felt good. See, I can do that because I'm a man. I can do that. Got really warm all of a sudden. Yeah, when they took away salted peanuts from airplanes, I knew the world was coming to an end. The cigar smoking in airplanes. I get it. It's kind of intrusive, right? Like you're sitting there, and you got a bunch of motherfuckers smoking cigarettes and cigars, and I'm like, someone open a window, and they're like, you can't say that. You're on an airplane. I was a little kid, but I remember when I was a kid, my dad used to take me to the cockpit, and we would ask the stewardess, and I would literally sit in. I swear to God, this literally happened. I went to the airport. I was a little kid. I had a cap gun, a metal cap gun, without the caps, and I walked on the plane with the metal cap gun. It's totally fine. No one thought anything of it. I was a little kid. And I would ask the stewardess, and I'd be like, can I see the pilot? And this was totally fine. And back then, it wasn't a fucking steel door. It was a fucking curtain. Little curtain. 747. First time I was ever on one. And I'm sitting there, coming back from Israel, and the pilot lets me sit in the fucking, seat of the plane. It's on autopilot, whatever. And there are all these buttons. I felt like I was in a spaceship. Can you imagine what would happen now if a kid that was Middle Eastern with a pencil even spoke about a pilot? Oh, the shitstorm that would happen. I remember another time we were coming back from Dominican, and my father, Israeli, born in Iraq, but Israeli Jewish, from Iraq, born there, moved to Israel when he was 2 weeks old, got into a fist-kicking fight, a Saudi Arabian guy, and I'm hitting the guy with a bag of coral that I took from the beach. And this guy's bleeding from his fucking forehead because I cracked him with the bag of coral because he poked me in the fucking eye. And he said in Arabic, kus emmak, which means your mother's a whore, which my father's wife isn't a fucking whore. And my dad and him started booting the fuck out of each other. The plane was landing. People were freaking out because my dad is yelling in Arabic and the guy is yelling in Arabic. And I'm yelling, kick his ass, Seabass. The Arab guy pushed a pregnant woman who had to have been 4 months pregnant. Like you could see she was pregnant. Kind of looked like me, but I look like I'm 6 months pregnant. He pushed a pregnant woman in a fucking seat. The doors opened. That plane blew open, ran out, and they were fighting for 10 minutes as it was landing. We were literally about to fucking land. He was like, hello, this is your captain speaking. We're about to land. Please, everybody, fasten your seatbelt. And shit went down. I've never seen in a SWAT team before in my life. That was the first time in Canada. And by the time they got there, my dad's sitting down, the guy's sitting down, I'm sitting down. And the Arabic guy goes to my father in Arabic, goes, tell him nothing happened in Arabic, right? And I go, how about what that asshole say? He goes, nothing happened. I go, okay. These guys come on the plane and they're like, were you guys fighting? And the guy goes, I don't speak English. My father goes, no fighting, no nothing. The guy's bleeding, like fucking bleeding, right? And they're like, you guys weren't fighting? No, what happened? And the Arab guy goes, turbulence, shook the plane and I hit my head and that's what happened. There was no such thing as a no-fly list then. But I think that's what caused that whole discussion to take place. But again, this is a beautiful country. It was, and we need to make it great again. It's a long video. But if you ever wonder watching it, and you wonder where we are, ask yourself where we came from. Because this country's changed very quickly, very fast, and all for the wrong reasons. But again, it is what you make it. Stay positive, stay true, and don't be scared to help people, because you never know when you might need help yourself. And get a dog. Get a dog. Are you a good boy? Are you a good boy? Yeah, pa. There's my big boy. Out. I can't kick it if you throw it down the hill. Bring it here. Over here, hey. Out. Good boy. You're so silly. Go play. Come on. Major, come on. Come on. He's like, I don't want you to take it away. I'm not taking it away. Come here, bring it here. Out. Right side. Hey. Right side. Come here. Platz. Good boy. Nadu. Platz. Good boy. Go play. Go have fun. I gotta bring your brother and sister outside. Are you a good boy? Are you a good boy? Come here. What a big boy. My big boy. He knows I gotta go in. He's like, I don't want to go in. Hey, you're so funny, buddy. God bless Canada. God bless the free world. Remember, unity is within us. Stay true, Canada.